Hey, so this video is for everybody that had or has a baby that cannot be put down, that doesn't seem to find rest once they are kept on the floor or in a baby chair or whatever the case may be. If you have a baby like this video is for you. I want to first of all start this video by let's look at the basics. We live in a society that tells us that a child needs to be independent right from the get-go. We live in a society that tells us that children, babies, need to self-soothe, which is quite literally, mentally, biologically, physically impossible. It is impossible for a toddler, a baby, a newborn, a small child to do that. We also live in a society that tells us that a baby gets used to being picked up, and along the lines of that manipulates you into carrying them up more because they get used to, I cry, mama, papa, parents, whoever is coming to pick me up. We live in a society that quite literally implies that babies can manipulate, or even worse than that, be intentional with their actions, which is completely insane. It is completely insane for you to assume that a baby that hasn't even fully understood its own existence is capable of manipulating an adult by crying and making the connection of being picked up after crying. That's just crazy. That's crazy. We live in a society that tells us that a baby has to scream it out in order for the lungs to be, strengthened, fully develop, for it to learn how to self-soothe. We live in a society that tells us if the baby has screamed it out, it's going to learn to sleep. When in reality, there is literal scientific evidence, studies that explains, that backs it up, that sleeping through the night has everything to do with the brain development, has nothing to do with the learning process, has nothing to do with you teaching your child how to sleep through the night, but is a chemical reaction or a chemical development in the brain that happens eventually, earlier or later. We live in a society that tells us that co-sleeping is dangerous, when humanity has been co-sleeping for thousands of years. It is unnatural for us to be disconnected from our children. It is unnatural for your baby to be born and all of a sudden have to breathe by themselves, feel hunger, feel environmental influences, circumstances, noises, smells, cold, hot, different temperatures, daylight, nighttime. It is unnatural for you to expect your child to adapt to that just because. It's not possible. And I am telling you all this because I have gone through that. I have gone through it, and I made terrible mistakes by listening to midwives that told me, just let him cry it out. Put him down, let him cry it out, he will stop. He did not stop. He did not stop. He wanted to be carried. He needed to be close to me. He needed to be close to his father because that is natural. That's nature. That is nature. It is normal for our babies to be close to us. But because of the society we live in, oh my God, what of the laundry? What of the pile of dishes? What about the shopping? What about this? What about that? It can wait. It can wait. The only person that is putting that pressure onto you is you. Because everybody else doesn't have the right, doesn't have the place to be putting you under pressure after giving birth to a new life. Leave the fucking laundry. Leave the fucking dishes. Leave the fucking mobbing. I don't fucking know. It is not normal for you to put yourself under pressure because society expects certain things of you. That's not normal, babe. It's not. And now you may want to tell me, oh, but I have nobody to help, or I have to get it done. Yeah, but get it done in your own time. I'm not privileged by telling you this because I had a shitload of people around me. I had nobody but my children's father. It was only the two of us. It's still only the two of us. We had no village. We had no help. We had no people present that came to do the laundry, that came to do the dishes. We both had the sleepless nights. We both had dark circles that deserve their own fucking postal code. We were only the two of us. So trust me when I tell you, it will pass. It will pass. At the end of the day, what you need to focus on is it will pass. It will be fine. I promise you. I promise you it will be fine. Your child will eventually outgrow the screaming. It will outgrow the sleepless nights. It will outgrow the continuously having to be close to your body. It will outgrow it all. But you need to hang in there. And I know that's not fucking easy, but it will be fine, I promise you. My second child, for the first 4 months of his life, you cannot drop that child. I couldn't drop him. There was no way. There was no way. He did not sleep on his own. He did not, even when he was awake, there was no way. And I was so drained. I was so drained. I was so exhausted. I was on the verge of breaking down multiple times. I cried over that child, crying multiple times. We both did, because there was no option. There was just no option. There was no alternative. There was nothing, and it is hard. I'm not going to sit down here and tell you, hey, it's fine, because it is not. It is not. The cry of the baby it becomes so painful that once it starts, it's like pinching your brain. I completely and wholeheartedly understand that. So I'm not going to tell you it will be fine or it's not that deep, because I know it fucking is that deep. What I will tell you is it is normal, it is natural, and it's society is the problem. Your baby is fine. You are fine. It is normal for you to be overwhelmed. It is normal for your baby to cry. It is normal for your baby to demand body contact. What is not normal is society putting pressure on us by telling us shit has to get done, shit has to do this, do that. It's not normal. We do not live in a child-friendly society. We expect parents to raise children as if they're not working and work as if they're not raising children. So knowing this, please take that pressure off you, or don't let that pressure get to you, because you cannot do two things at a time. Let me be respectfully, it's not possible. You will either have a crying baby and a clean house, or a dirty house and a quiet baby. In many cases, there is no in between. So whoever needs to hear this, it will pass. I promise you, it will pass. What may help you, what helped me, and I learned that from my sister-in-law, wrap your baby. Put that baby on your body. If you need to get shit done, which I completely understand, wrap it up. Put the baby on your body. Use a wrap. Whatever you have accessible, or whatever is accessible to you, use it. Look at indigenous tribes. Look at African tribes. How we've been carrying children for hundreds of years, thousands of years. Do that. I can assure you, it will help. It will help. One, your baby is going to be quiet and you're going to get shit done. But other than that, take a deep breath and just know you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing, and it will pass. I promise you that. My own are 6, 8, and 16. None of them still needs to be carried. I hope that helps. You're doing amazing, and it will be fine at the end of the day. It will pass, 100%. And lastly, I am so proud of you for looking for help. You got this.